Ferrari is Adam Driver's newest film and it's directed by Michael Mann. Is it any good? Let's find out right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. As I said in the intro, I'm going to be reviewing Ferrari today. Very excited to talk about this one. Before we get started, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. It's free to do so. I'm going to read you guys a quick plot synopsis of the movie, just so you know what the movie is about. Set in the summer of 1957, with Enzo Ferrari's auto empire in crisis, the ex-racer turned entrepreneur pushes himself and his drivers to the edge as they launch into a treacherous 1,000-mile race across Italy. And as I said, this is directed by Michael Mann. And I was surprised to see this, but it's the first Michael Mann movie I've ever seen. It's so weird going into this movie thinking I've already seen one, because, you know, I know that he's made like Heat, Thief, and all that, but I swear there's one I've seen from him, but I guess it was directed by a different person. But yeah, this is my first ever Michael Mann movie I've ever seen. First one I've seen in theaters because of that, and it was a damn good experience. I wish that my theater played this on a big screen though, because this was just played on a smaller screen. That's what they do when, you know, the tickets aren't going to sell as much. I wish I would have saw it on a bigger screen, because the sound design in this is crazy. I love just watching like movies about cars, like seeing cars race in a movie on a big screen just makes the experience even better. But seeing this in theaters was enough because the experience was great. Like if you watch this at home, the experience isn't going to be as good as it was in the theaters, and I was just loving the experience here. And I really like Michael Mann's direction. I've already heard he's a great director, and I bet, you know, his direction in his other movies is just as good at this, if not better. But his direction here had to have been great, because the, you know, it's a racing movie, you got to have good scenes in there, and you have a lot of interesting stuff happen with the trio of actors in this one. So I really did like the direction. I love where he took the movie. I will say the script though, I feel like the script needed another, you know, piece of work added to it. I feel like it needed another draft to finally finalize, because the script was a little messy for me at sometimes, but I just had to deal with that. But the direction was pretty good. And I will say this film is like kind of an interesting thing to talk about, because I think the first and second half are kind of very different. The first half for me was weaker than the second half, because I feel like it took a little bit of time for this movie to find its footing, and I wasn't entirely sure where the movie was going at certain points in that first half, so it just needed a little bit of time. But I will say, I think that this movie is really good. I'm excited to watch it again, but it had the ingredients in it for it to be an amazing movie, because it really, you know, that second half I really liked a lot. I thought the second half was like great. The first half I thought was more decent than great, so overall it just ended up being pretty good for me. But I feel like if you had the whole movie be like the second half, this would easily be an amazing film and like my top 15 of the year, because that second half is filled with more racing scenes, you know, more scenes with Adam Driver just by himself, you know, so I like that a lot. The first half is just you getting to know everyone, getting introduced to everything, so it does take a little bit to find its footing. That's what I'll say about that. And it's a movie about the Ferrari cars. It's a movie about a race, so you're gonna have a lot of interesting racing scenes and car scenes. And the racing scenes were good, but I just expected a lot more of them. We didn't get too much of them. As I said, the second half is filled with all the big racing scenes, that big 1,000-mile race that you get. So that's where basically all the racing scenes are. There's a couple of racing scenes, practice scenes in the beginning, so you do get some there. But there's one specific crash scene in the beginning that just, you know, kind of made me speechless, just because it was like kind of insane. But that's not even the worst one. There's one big crash scene in the third act that will just make you gasp. Like it's an insane and pretty horrifying crash scene to witness. I thought it looked pretty good because you had to have good visual effects there, but man, I was just speechless after that. Like the emotional toll that must have took on those people after that crash happened in real life, that would have been just horrifying to witness that. Because even just in the movie, man, that was a crazy scene. You're not going to be prepared for it when it does come up. You only be prepared if you do know about the crash and have seen video of it. But just seeing in this movie, I was like, holy crap. That was horrifying to watch, especially. I just feel bad. And the score and sound here have to be great for a racing movie. Like, I'm talking about like Ford v Ferrari, kind of great. You got to have good sound design for this kind of movie and good score. And the score here is really great. It's by Daniel Pemberton. You probably know him. He did the score for Across the Spider-Verse. So he's having a pretty great year with this and that. And the sound design in here is pretty awesome. I love just hearing the Ferrari cars just zoom by. I'm not a huge car person, I would say. Like, I'm not like a car person that goes around like modifying my car like wearing exactly what I drive, but I do love some nice cars. I do love cars that sound really nice, like these Ferraris, these expensive cars. They're pretty cool to watch. So I really like the sound design here. I thought it was awesome. And the last thing I want to talk about was the cast of this movie. You obviously, I guess, three main leads here with Adam Driver, Penelope Cruz, and Shailene Woodley. And I think Shailene Woodley was really good in here. You know, we haven't seen her in much lately except this and Dumb Money. Before that, she hasn't really been in too many movies. I'm happy to see that she's in these two, you know, bigger movies this year. I'd love to see her in more movies now, more dramatic movies, kind of like this, because she was good here. I just kind of wanted her to have some more like louder scenes, because if you compare her and Penelope Cruz character has a lot more, you know, yelling scenes, a lot more louder scenes, a lot more emotional scenes. Kind of wanted Shailene Woodley's character to have some of those scenes just to see her range a little bit more, because Shailene Woodley, you know, her scenes are pretty calming in here. She like just talks to Adam Driver and like just soft voice, soft whisper most of the time, but she was pretty good. I just wanted a little bit more from her, but that just had to do with the script and all that. But yeah, Penelope Cruz, she kind of blew me away in here. She kind of terrified me. She was just a terrifying character, but she owned. She stood on her business, and she really did not take any shit from anyone in here, especially Adam Driver. So she was great. I mean, you start out the film basically with her just pointing a gun and almost shooting Adam Driver's character. So that's just how you go into it. But yeah, she had some pretty loud scenes. I thought that she did great with those, and she was really good in the movie. Adam Driver as Enzo. I thought Adam Driver was great. You know, he's just on this stint of like Italian, being like an Italian in all of his movies recently. I guess not all of his movies. I mean, he did House of Gucci, which I haven't seen, and now this. I guess he does love playing an Italian, so good for him. But I liked him here. I really think he did a great job here. I wish he got some more louder scenes. He has one with Penelope Cruz, but I wish he got some more louder scenes. I'm not sure how Enzo Ferrari really acts. I mean, he was pretty cool, calm, and collected for the most part. I loved how we were talking about before this movie came out. They just released press images of just Adam Driver just wearing glasses the whole movie, and that's kind of what he does for the most of the movie. He just wears glasses when he's just outside looking at the cars, which I find pretty funny. But yeah, they all three did great. I love this trio of actors. I love how we got to see some pretty strong female characters. I love that. But Adam Driver, I thought was great. But I loved how, you know, Shailene Woodley and Penelope Cruz really stood on their own with him. So I really do thank, you know, Michael Mann in the script for, you know, having them all be co-leads instead of just Adam Driver. So I really liked them a lot. So overall, Ferrari really worked for me. I liked it a lot, but it could have been amazing if it was more like that second half. There's a specific crash in the third act that will just take your breath away. It's so horrifying to watch. The score, sound design are all great. The trio of this cast are all great. Michael Mann, I'm gonna have to watch more of your movies, man, because this was really good. So I'm gonna give Ferrari a 7.5 out of 10. Let me know down in the comments if you guys did watch Ferrari. This is gonna be my last movie review of this year, so don't expect any more until next year. But I will have some rankings coming out, my top 10 movies of the year, top 10 worst movies of the year, and a whole, you know, tier list of every movie I watched this year. So look out for those. Make sure you like this video if you do enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.